2020. Roll call, please.
Mayor Litchfield,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Here.
Commissioner Moya,
Here.
Commissioner Villanueva.
Here.
Commissioner Arias.
Here.
Okay, are there any considerations of changes or deletions to the agenda? Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as is.
I'll make a motion, we approve the agenda as is.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis,
Yes.
Commissioner Moya,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
Commissioner Arias,
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield.
Yes. Okay, this is a public hearing regarding the charge of code of conduct violation. I need approval to open the public meeting.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the opening of the public hearing.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Moya,
Yes, but I do have an objection that Commissioner Arias has a conflict of interest, and we should consider that.
I would like to state with Commissioner Moya that this commission has approved that nephews and aunts are not constitute a family according to the city. However, I do agree with you. I will still hear everything and I will make a final decision at the end.
Just let the record reflect.
Roll call. Okay, was that all of us?
no, I need to do roll call.
Oh, okay, roll call.
So we had Commissioner Arias motion, Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis. So
Okay.
Commissioner Moya, Commissioner Villanueva, Commissioner Arias,
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Yes.
Okay, I'd like for the city clerk to give the oath to the speakers.
Okay, so I believe it'll be Ms. Arias, Commissioner Villanueva, and Commissioner Moya. If you all would all raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and then state your name,
I call you
I, Rochelle Arias,
swear or affirm
swear or affirm
that the testimony I'm about to give
that the testimony I'm about to give
is the truth
is the truth
and nothing but the truth
and nothing but the truth,
under penalty of law.
under penalty of law.
Okay. Our first presentation is from Rochelle Arias.
Good evening. On either Tuesday, February 18th or Wednesday, February 19th, I was approached by then City Manager Britt Lusk, who stated he received a call from the mayor. He stated the mayor told him that she received a call from Commissioner Moya, who had received a call from Commissioner Villanueva, who stated that he had received several calls from citizens about my alleged behavior during the commission meeting on February 13th, 2020. It was relayed that I had rolled my eyes and said, "Oh, shut up," to Commissioner Moya, and it was on the video. I told City Manager, that I did not do that to Commissioner Moya. I watched the video and I listened very carefully to see if in fact I had done this. The only time I am seen on the video is when I was discussing the lodger's tax audit. During the commission meeting of February 27th, 2020, Commissioner Moya asked the mayor if she had looked into the concern of the person sitting in the front row making comments during the last commission meeting. The mayor stated she did, and she watched the video and she did not hear or see anything. Commissioner Moya said that the citizens that complained thought it was very disrespectful towards the commission, and if it was a city employee, it should be corrected. It should be noted that on the meeting of February 13th, there were only 2 city employees sitting in the front row, myself and another employee. And during the meeting of February 27th, I sat in the very back of the chambers, and I had 2 citizens ask me why I'm sitting back here. You always sit in the front row. I feel that Commissioner Villanueva violated the code of conduct when he told Commissioner Moya about my alleged behavior instead of going to the city manager. As in section 4J, it states, "Commissioners and board members, therefore, shall not interfere with the administrative functions of the city or the professional duties of city staff, nor shall they impair the ability of staff to implement commission policy decisions. Commissioners and board members should never express concerns about the performance of a city employee in public to the employee directly or to the employee's director. Comments about staff performance should be made only to the city manager through private correspondence or conversation. I feel that Commissioner Moya violated the code of conduct when he asked the mayor about the personnel issue in an open meeting. As stated in section 4C, conduct of commissioners and board members, the professional and personal conduct of commissioners and board members must be above reproach and avoid even the appearance of impropriety. Commissioners and board members shall refrain from abusive conduct, personal charges, or verbal attacks upon the character or motives of other commissioners and board members, city staff, or the public. I also feel that Commissioner Moya violated the section 4G when he asked about it during a public meeting. As 4G states, confidential information. Commissioners and board members shall respect the confidentiality of information concerning the property, personnel, or affairs of the city. They shall neither disclose confidential information without proper legal authorization, nor use such information to advance their personal, financial, or other private interests. Personnel matters are completely confidential, so whatever action, if any, was taken would not be discussed with anybody, nor in a public meeting. Commissioner Moya also violated section 4J when he discussed my alleged behavior with the mayor instead of the city manager, nor should it have been discussed with each other. And 4J, as I've already said, that it should have been discussed in private. And that's all I have.
Okay. Next is presentation from Commissioner Villanueva.
Well, I don't know what to say. I work for the public, and the public's the one that told me. And I did call you first before I talked to you.
Okay, that's
And
what
I'm gonna prove that as a point, because I did call you.
right.
And the reason I called you, because the, from Napa was saying that they're the ones that heard it too.
Okay.
Too much in them.
Okay.
And like I say, I'm sorry. I don't know if I stepped on your boundary or what, but I'm here to put it right. I did call her first. I never called.
I apologize. That was probably my mistake.
Like I say, I don't know what happened.
Because I know you called me that night.
And I sure did,
Yes.
because people were calling me, they're like, did you watch it? I'm like, I don't have time to watch it.
Right.
I'm trying to eat dinner, get ready for work. So,
Can I respond to that?
Yes.
Okay, so let me go back up.
oh, they were saying.
I would like to respond to the part of what could have possibly been heard that night. It was during the time the conversation, you guys were talking about the signage ordinance.
Yeah.
And what I said was, I asked the other employee sitting next to me, I said, what time is it? And when she looked at her clock, I happened to lean forward and look at it, and my exact words were, holy shit, it's been over an hour. That's what I said, and then I leaned back and I told Deacon Morrison, I am so sorry for cussing in front of you, Deacon. That is what I said.
But like I say, I didn't get to hear, I didn't get to watch the video, because there wasn't anything on there when that day that they called me. And like I say, I ain't gonna bring people in here. We're not even following the rules anyways. Of the virus. Look how many people are in here. And it's like I told them now for on to talk tomorrow, or to,
Right.
I ain't gonna get in trouble. man.
That's what I tell mine when they call me. Call the city manager. Okay, next on the agenda is presentation from Commissioner Moya.
First of all, no name was ever mentioned in the commission, so therefore no allegations were brought up against a specific employee. And I did, she herself said, I said it was somebody that, first of all, I will take concern when any of the residents of Tubular have a concern, and they would bring it to my attention. I will also bring it before the commission because it's a lesson. The accusations occur by the public, not by me, and I very clearly said it in that meeting, in the commission chambers. I did not mention any of them. any names. This is not a personnel matter. This is a citizen concern about the conduct that was conducted in the meeting here. What happens, I don't watch Facebook, I don't watch anything, so really I only have to go on what the community said. I brought it up to the mayor's attention because of the fact is that, I wanted to solidify what the public was saying. And first of all, and I said, I don't know what's happening. The fact behind it is nothing was ever brought to my attention. I brought it into the public meeting because this is concerned by the public themselves. They themselves were feeling that at this point in time, I think there was a comment by Connie Loveland or something like that also on the poster thing that said something to the effect. This is my first time watching the online. I would just like to kindly remind those sitting closest to the camera that you whisper, since, and your comments are audio to this watching the online. She heard it, she was upset about it. There were several other people that brought it to my attention. I think, what was it? I think one of the residents that complained was the fact is that we have been discussing the larger stacks, meeting. And when we were discussing about it at a larger stacks meeting, after we were talking about, I think something this is what they said, something about the effect that, of getting auditing certain motels or something, and we went back and forth, and there was a comment that I said, well, we've done it in the past, and then she said, well, and then she said something, I said, never say never, because we have done it in the past. Then after that, at the end of that partial part, I think where she made a facial comment, a facial comment, kind of an expression that was a very inappropriate according to the public. I don't watch VCR, I don't watch Facebook, I don't watch nothing. But that's the area they felt that was one of the areas that they very strongly felt was inappropriate. I don't know, they gave me I gave it to Mark, I don't know, I said, right at the end, I guess she turned back and made a facial expression, and that's where the public was upset about. The public was upset. This is not a personnel issue, and this has to be clarified. This is a complaint by the public. A personnel issue is something that is done by the personnel, and this is not. This is a concern by the public brought before the governing body, which is required to investigate if something inappropriate happened. I did not talk to Brett. I don't know where Brett got the comments. I didn't talk to him, and all you guys knew I don't talk to him during the period of time. I did talk to the mayor, and that was it. I don't know, Commissioner Villanueva, I don't believe he ever told me, because I don't remember him ever telling me. I don't know where it came from. But this is a situation that I feel very strongly that has come to the attention of the commission, because actually, if I wouldn't mention a name, that's a violation of personnel policy. No name was ever mentioned, regardless whether it was her or whoever was in the front. I don't know. It could have been the other person, No actual accusation was made to the other person or either person. So the other thing is that it's very strong, and this is my concern, and why I brought it to the mayor, because this gets to the point where we're stepping over boundaries. And this is a situation, I feel Commissioner Villanueva and Commissioner Moya are targeting me because of my race and gender. First of all, I don't know what race she's at, Rochelle and I probably don't even say much other than hi and bye. So I don't know her race is, and I don't know, I know her gender, but that's about as far as we go. So therefore, this is a very serious charge. A charge of racism and a charge of genderism is very strong, is very, very strong. This is a comment that should have been turned over to the attorney to investigate. Because first of all, I don't feel I am ever racist to anybody, and I don't feel I am ever difficult in gender difficulty. So therefore, and besides, I hardly ever talk to her. I just say hi and bye, and probably everything that I usually say is on public, and that's about it. No more nor less. So I really don't have her. I have very little on her background. I have very little about her knowledge or anything other than what she presents in the commission meeting. So this situation got out of hand because and we owe it to the public and respectful to the public that we investigate any concerns or comments they have. This, when the public starts to call you, it is no longer a personnel issue. It is a public concern, a concern about, the comments that were in the video and the facial expressions on the video. So this is something that the public was concerned. It is my right as a commissioner to bring it before the commission. It is my right to ask about it. I do not mention names in the meeting, so therefore there's no violation of anything. This has become just a kind of like a wish hunt that it shouldn't have even got to that level, because we have to be responsible to the public, and we owe responsibility to the public, and the public owes the responsibility to us, and they will comment if they feel that inappropriateness is happening in our commission chambers.
And I know, can I make a comment at this time? It's not on the agenda. Do I have to wait till commissioners' comments?
I think as long as everybody is done with their presentations, and keep in mind, this is not my meeting, Mayor. It's your
No, I'm just
meeting
getting the
night,
rules.
so.
The rule. Can I make a comment? Okay. There was no name given. I did watch the video and listen to it. There was no name given. I do know that. It just, he just said employee. And I do want to make that correction that Commissioner Villanueva did call me first before he called Commissioner Moya. And he's the one that told me that he had several phone calls. I came in the next morning and went straight to Angelica's office to ask her, because she was typing up the minutes, to ask her if she would let me listen to the tape, or if I could watch the video, or ask her if she saw it. That's what it was. I asked her if she saw it on the tape or heard anything, and she said she had not. So then I went into city manager's office and asked him if I could watch the video, and that's when I did not hear her say anything or see any facial expressions. But the way the camera was viewed and the way we were looking at it, I couldn't have seen it anyway, because it was showing kind of the back of her head, didn't show her front face. So the people out there may have seen it, but I did not. So I did want to make that clear. So next is on here.
Oh, can I?
Yes, go ahead, excuse me.
In line with what you're just saying, if I'm standing here, how did everybody behind me see me make this face? And to be correct, I made the face at the mayor.
Right, she
She
did.
looked at me and we both made a face at each other.
Right.
It was never directed at you, Commissioner Moya, never. I never said shut up. I would never be that disrespectful.
What we were making a face about was the signage thing that was,
Can I say something here?
she was.
No, we did make a face. It was during the lodger's talk because I
Right.
used the word never and Commissioner Moya
Right, yeah.
corrected me. But I didn't make it at you.
Right,
We made a
Made
face
it
at
each
each other.
right,
Can I say something here?
yes.
Well, I don't know, you're the one, I think, told me that she was hearing Jim and then laughing, talking loud.
Right.
And that's when somebody said that she heard her say that, make a face. So
Oh, well,
I don't know, you know what I mean?
all I could hear was Jim and,
Oh,
I
actually,
couldn't,
it's
I couldn't hear what you said, Commissioner Villanueva. What did you say?
I guess that you're standing by them, and I guess they're talking loud or something,
yes,
and that's when
The
they're
headsets.
making the faces. According to
Yeah.
Ms. Litchfield told me that you told her that you were talking about Jim and Lynn Hudson.
So I was talking with
Right.
Mark, he was sitting behind me, and we were, and it was when you guys were talking about the lodger's tax, contract with Sunny 505, and there was a lot of things that were being said, and me and Mark were discussing it amongst ourselves, but not anything disrespectful. It was just saying like, well, didn't Sunny 505 come and put on a presentation for the lodger's tax board? Wouldn't that have sufficed that situation? That's what we said. And then, I do know that at one point, Richard Talley and David Brenner were sitting right over here, and they made a comment, about that they were at the meeting, and I leaned back and I looked at them and I said, so were we. Yes, that was probably very inappropriate. Again, nothing towards Commissioner Moya.
well, I don't know, but the public was the one who made the complaint, the public was the one who brought the concerns, and therefore it had to be brought before the commission. It has nothing to do with anybody being attacked as a personal individual, as an employee, but actually concerned of the professionalism by the presentators. That is concern of the public, they say facial expression was the one they were concerned about, and they were also concerned about whoever was making the comment, to Commissioner Moya, shut up, and that's enough, and Those are very clear. Those were the concerns, and that's why we needed to investigate. We did it at one detail. This was never attacked to a personal person. The only time they did mention was her name was because of her facial expression. And that's what I related to you correctly.
Right.
And I said, this is exactly what the public wants, and we need to consider the public, and we have to do as a public. If there is no unethical or conduct of any nature there.
And I believe at the next meeting is when I ask the people on this side behind the camera, if you would please not make comments because it comes through, not to talk if you're sitting on this side of the chamber. So, and I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to the audience that comes.
But, anytime concern from the public is brought, the commission has to be aware of it, and we must discuss it.
Okay,
I'd like one
Yes.
thing too, it made us look pretty bad on the paper.
I know.
People tell me, oh, you're racist? I'm like, what do you mean racist? It says on the paper, you don't like women or what? So I'm married to a woman, I don't know what you're talking about. Now everybody teases us, oh, you're racist. I'm like, come on.
Well, I'm pretty strong, it doesn't bother me one bit, because I'm very
Just
straightforward, But the whole deal is, this has nothing to do with personnel, this has nothing to do with violation of any code of conduct or ethics, this has to do with a complaint filed by the public to a commissioner who was related to the mayor, and asked to investigate it. I brought the public, it was brought in a public meeting because I had not yet got the results, and that's pretty normal. I always make every complaint that the public gives to me as part of a public meeting.
Okay.
Even if I discuss it with the city manager, I still bring it up because it has to be part of the public record.
Madam Mayor, if I may,
Yes.
just, I don't know if it's appropriate time, but one thing I'd like to offer to you as well as the other commissioners is, in light of something like this were to happen again, I hope not, I'd like to move past this, but I'd open up my communication line. If any of y'all, we're always streaming the meetings now. I'd open up my office and surface whatever we need to for y'all to review if you like to in the future. But my communication's always open so we can learn from this, move on, and grow together and not have to go through this again.
Well, the whole deal is, the reason I referred to the mayor is that she's head of the commission, appointed by the commission. And she should be the one that I had to refer to, and if she talked to Britt and the others, that's her duty and her job.
Another thing too, I tried calling Brittany, he wouldn't answer.
No, well, Brett and I didn't talk to each other, because I had lost the.
All right,
And that's just something that I want to clarify. I mean, I wasn't in this position at that time, but I can tell you, moving forward, as long as I'm here, that communication line's open. And any video footage, anything, any concerns, you all have my number, you're more than welcome to contact me.
It then got to the point where actually the public gave me numbers that, because first of all, I don't do Facebook, I don't do any of that stuff. I don't care for it, I find that to be very gossipy and inappropriate and hurt people. But they even gave me the numbers, and I even gave it to him, of where the situation was. I don't know, because I don't watch any of that stuff. And I
We
don't know how
discussed
to go.
that just previous to the meeting. If we had enough time, I was going to show Commissioner Moya on the surface. Unfortunately, the Housing Authority meeting ran a little bit later. But that's why I wanted to reiterate that you're
We could,
more than open.
we
to-
could hear the audio, though, correct?
Correct.
We can still hear that?
It's a 2-hour audio, and what they did, they broke it down so that we can actually look at it. I mean, the public. I don't know, because I don't even know how to get on Facebook. I don't want to learn, you feel a little longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
None of my business what those people like to do, Facebook, each other.
Problems.
Oh, Facebook, no, they say Facebook.
Facebook, yeah. All right, so next is, we're going to do the determination and decision from the commission regarding the charge of code of conduct against Commissioner Villanueva. So I would entertain a motion as to, I'm not sure, I've never done this before, so I don't know exactly what the motion should say. To drop the charge or to charge?
Can
Whichever,
we have a
discussion,
discussion?
yes,
First of all, because this audience, I think, is a wonderful employee, and that's why I think we should have a chance to say something as well. I did have calls as well, and I did go in and I talked to Britt and told him immediately that, and no names were, well, a name was brought up and it was not in this audience. I'm gonna say that, and the reason I'm not gonna say a name is I don't want charges brought on me. But There was somebody in there that did say shut up, and the name that was given to me wasn't Miss Audience. I did have somebody say something about the facial expressions, they didn't know what, but to me, that was neither here nor there. I just thought, well, I saw the same thing that Miss Loveland had put on Facebook, and I thought it was good that we make sure nobody's either talking or they sit farther back. And I have to agree, I never heard a name brought up during the discussion commission meeting. I do agree that once the public brings it to us, it's no longer a personnel matter, it's a public matter. Now, we don't discuss it in private, and from my understanding, it wasn't discussed, not private, public, it wasn't discussed in public, it was discussed between a commissioner or two commissioners and the mayor at two different times. And I understand Mr. Moya, Commissioner Moya, didn't have a communication with the former city manager for obvious reasons, but I feel he did do the right thing going to the mayor instead of having the mayor come down. And the same thing with Commissioner Villanueva. I think this is terrible that this has come to this, and my stomach's been turning since we set the date to be meeting here. But like I said, there was several people talking on that side, and I didn't hear anything, and I've listened to it, I didn't hear anything, but I have heard from some reliable sources of a name of somebody that did say, oh, just shut up. And like I said, I'll bring up that name at another time, I'm not in an open meeting. But anyway, I just want to,
Okay.
before we go any farther, I want to have something to say.
So, as Commissioner brought up, at this time, I will again clarify that Mrs. Arias is my aunt. And according to the code of conduct that we did pass, that does not constitute as family. I'll be honest, I did not receive any complaints. I mean, I don't know if everyone doesn't know I'm here or they just don't want to call me. But I never received a complaint on the issue. Everything that I've heard came after the fact. I do recall Ms. Loveland making the comment. I did go back and listen to the tape myself. I didn't hear any of those words come from anybody's mouth, but it just might be a chance or a point in time that I didn't hear right, but I didn't hear anything when I checked it in myself. As far as facial expressions, I think that's pretty common for all of us. I mean, that's something that I learned when I don't understand something, I make a facial comment. So my humble personal opinion on this is there's an atmosphere of distrust in these chambers. I feel that we've not created a hostile, I'll stay away from that word, but we're all passionate. We're all very passionate, and we just need to learn how to work together. And I think this all stemmed from misunderstandings and hurt feelings, and that we can move forward from this.
Either one of you want to say anything else?
All I want to say is, I will continue to represent the public, and I will continue to bring the public concerns to this commission. I'm very aware of the code of conduct and the code of ethics. I also know the personnel rules, because I manage an agency with a lot of people. I know the names are never to be brought up, but also the fact is that when you have a chairperson of the commission, that you bring the complaints to it, because they're with a governing body and not an employee like Britt. So therefore, the mayor was her duty to go out and investigate it and come back with an answer to me, but nothing came back. And I brought it up to the commission because I need to know. I need to answer to those voters who are concerned and felt that the commission, that this type of behavior was inappropriate in an open meeting, and they wanted us to correct it. And the only way you can correct this type of behavior is you make the elected officials aware of what's happening.
Commissioner Villanueva, anything?
I'm just saying that, we work for the people.
Okay, so we have the determination and decision from commission regarding the charge of code of conduct against Commissioner Villanueva. Do I have a motion, one way or the other?
Let's see if I can word this right. I'll make a motion that Commissioner Villanueva be found that he was not unethical, and because no names were brought up at that point, and I have no proof that he brought it up publicly outside of when he asked that night about, and like I said, again, no name was brought up, so I'd like to make a motion that he was, he was ethical, I guess is the word, I'm sorry.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Litchfield,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Yes.
Commissioner Moya.
Yes.
So do I call Commissioner Villanueva, or because it's regarding him,
No, I wouldn't think so.
Commissioner Arias?
I do believe that the people of District 4 voted for me for maturity and doing the right thing. I will say that I am too close to this situation and I will abstain.
All right. Next is determination and decision from commission regarding the charge of code of conduct against Commissioner Moya. Do I have any discussion, comments?
Again, I'd like to make the motion on the same grounds. Although Commissioner Moya didn't go to the city manager, I felt going to the mayor was a solution at best.
And I apologize for not getting back to you after I talked to everybody. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. This is a new situation.
And for the same reason, no, again, a name wasn't brought up. I feel that if a name would have been mentioned, this could be totally the other direction. So I make the same motion I made for Commissioner Villanueva.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
Commissioner Arias?
Again, I am too close to the situation and I will abstain.
Mayor Litchfield?
Yes. All right, next on the agenda is items from commissioners, and I'm gonna take the privilege of going first this time. Always let you guys go, and I'm gonna go first.
Go ahead.
Okay. I hope that the matter's settled and that there will be no retaliation from any party. I do want to commend Rochelle because she does work hard in our finance department. She has had us good audits, and I do appreciate all your hard work, Rochelle. Like I say, we need to work together, not against. So, now, next would be Commissioner Arias.
Mayor, I'd like to echo your terms that under Mrs. Arias's leadership in the finance department, the city's finances are starting to come back clean. Our audits have been good. There's a lot of work hours put into that, and I do want to thank her for that as well. And we do need to work together.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Hopefully we can move forward. I agree with the commission about Ms. Arias. She's done wonders on this budget. A lot can be said both on the code of ethics that we had voted on. Without it, it might not have given the courage to stand up. And we do want to encourage, as much as we encourage our personnel to stand up, we also want to encourage our employees to stand up, in the same manner. I also would like to, for us, we don't always should have to go to the city manager if we go to the mayor. Things like that should be clear. But again, I think we should move forward. We've got more issues dealing with the city, and we all need to work together. The community has been standing up and has been voicing it. I know the mayor's seen a lot of it, and I'm assuming all of us, the others have as well. The communities want to see, the public is wanting to see the community lead us out of this, this virus that we're being plagued with right now. Us acting separately is not going to get us nowhere. We need to act as a unit. So, but that's all I got to say.
Commissioner Moya.
All I have to say is, I really have no comment in reference to the whole mess, but I do have one comment, and that is, the fact is that I am a person that does not go on Facebook or any of that, because I don't like the validity that he posts there as opinion. I have always told my people that if they're really concerned about something, then they have to take the energy enough to call me or visit me in the office. And that's the only way I would listen and act on my behalf. I don't go on any of the Facebook to all that stuff. I'm not even on there, period. So at this point in time, all I say is that I will continue to represent those who have concerns.
Commissioner Villanueva?
Well, like I said, I apologize. I say, I just tell you what the people tell me, and I gotta work for the public, that's why they voted me in, And I hope we do all get along, you know what I mean? I don't talk to much people, I just say hi and
All right, any other? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So,
Second.
Roll call.
Who motioned?
Todd. Or
Commissioner Arias?
Yes.
yes, he seconded.
Commissioner Villanueva?
yes.
Commissioner Arias?
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis?
yes.
Commissioner Webb?
Yes.